Hello students, our today's topic is observational learning. As the name indicates, learning by observing others is known as the observational learning. This learning was given by Albert Bandura. We are very lucky that he is still alive. American psychologist, he has done a major studies in observational learning. He studies the consequences a model has on the subjects. The model is one whom you observe, from whom you learn. He conducted the Bobo doll experiments from where we came to the conclusion that we learn by observing others. Observational learning is a method of learning that consists of observing and modeling another individual's behavior, attitudes, or emotional expressions. Observational learning, the key concepts here: observation, modeling, memes, imitation, Albert Bandura and the Bobo doll study. These are the experiments he has conducted. What is the model or who is the model? Learning by observing and watching others. Whom we watch is known as the model. The model is the person whose behavior the subject watches and imitates. Modeling, it is a process of observing and imitating a specific behavior. Memes are the ideas, fashions, habits. These are the cultural elements that are passed on to us by imitation. When we observe a model, then we learn many things. We also learn the ideas, we also learn the fashions, we also learn the habits, like the catchphrases, ceremonies, foods, traditions, vices, and fads. They we copy from one another. For example, we are in the north side. When we go to once visit to south part of the India, the dishes are different. And when we came back to our home, we sometimes try to make those dishes that we have tasted in the north side. The Bobo doll experiments he has conducted. Here, children watched an adult model who show aggressive behavior towards a Bobo doll. There were three experimental conditions were there. The model who was conducting the experiment, he was praised for his aggressive behavior towards a Bobo doll. In the second condition, the model was punished for showing the aggressive behavior. And in the third condition, the model received no consequences for his aggressive behavior. So here three conditions were given. Now look at the pictures also. Here the children are showing aggressive behaviors. Some are playing. Now the results that came when the children observed the model. Children who observed adults showing loving behavior towards the Bobo doll, they copied that behavior. And they also showed the loving behavior. Like in the second condition, children who observed adults showing aggressive behavior towards a Bobo doll copied that behavior and they started showing aggressive behavior. And third condition, children who observed adults ignoring the Bobo doll did not show aggressive behavior towards it. So from this we came to know that whatever the children observed, they copied that. Vicarious learning. It is also observational learning, the second name of the observational learning. Here, learning by seeing the consequence of another's behavior. As we have studied here, the children, they learn by seeing the rewards or punishments the model get. And then they observe that behavior. Bandura said that reinforcement is not essential for learning to occur, but the expectation of reinforcement affects the performance of what has been observed. Reinforcement we have studied in the Skinner's theory of operant conditioning. But Bandura said that is not necessary in observational learning, but still we have expectations of rewards and praises that still affects our performance. Now some stages of modeling are here. The 5 stages of modeling are here: attention, retention, reproduction, motivation and reinforcement. Attention, retention, reproduction, motivation and reinforcement. Now let's study. Attention, as you know, we attend to the stimuli. The observer must actively watch the model when completing the task. Means not only seeing but actively watching. You have to see the every aspect keenly for some time. Attention is also influenced by the motivation and interest of the observer. If the observer is motivated, he will definitely pay more attention to the stimulus. And interest also. If you are interested in watching the movie, then whatever may be the conditions, you don't miss that. Secondly, personality characteristics of the model. The model who has a more influence on you, that whose personality characteristics influence you very much, and you start observing that person. Like nowadays, most of the students, they make the models hero and heroines. They then copy all their characteristics, their makeups, their fashions, their trends, and they start copying them. In the same way, sports persons are also copied nowadays. The third is the avoidance of distractors. There should not be any distractors during the attention. If you are attending one thing, you should not attend some other thing at the same time. Then distinctiveness and importance also. Now, Bandura felt we are more likely to attend to model if model has high status, similar in nature to observer, is well kind, is known, behavior is visible and distinctive, and many other characteristics. These are very general characteristics. You will be tending to that person who has a high status. That affects us and even the teenagers more. The similar in nature, whose nature is similar to us, we always try to imitate that person. Then other stages, retention and reproduction. As the name indicates, retention means whatever you have attended to, that should be retained in your memory. That should be retained. If you are observing some behavior, that should be retained. The observer must be able to make a mental representation step by step of the model's behavior. The more meaningful you can make that image, that is mental representation of what you observe, the more accurately you will be able to replicate that behavior. The third is the reproduction, means you have to produce that behavior. What you have observed and retained, now it's a time for reproduction, the results. The observer must have the ability to perform the action accurately. Now here is a condition, reproduction is restricted by physical limitation. That is, I can't do the splits no matter how many times you show me. Like here in the diagrams, the person who is performing a very difficult posture. So here you see that it's very difficult to perform. That is why here has been said it is restricted by the physical limitation. Stages 4, motivation and reinforcement 5. Motivation, as you know, it is internal also, external also. You are internally motivated and sometimes you are externally motivated also by the rewards. The learner must want to perform behavior. So if being taught something, then the teacher should encourage the learner to repeat the behavior just seen. For example, it will be a external motivation. Through rewards and praise, we can motivate other persons. The reinforcement, here it will increase the likelihood that the observer will repeat the behavior. For example, your friend dyes their hair black and everyone compliments her that you look pretty. Then you might be inclined to try a similar strategy to your hair color. Then biological findings also there that mirror neurons in the frontal lobe of our brain. Frontal lobe of our brain by the motor cortex fire when an animal observes another performing a task and when the animal actually performs the task. It means it is a biologically also that you observe and learn by imitating others. So here are some of the references also. Thank you very much.